Hello, welcome back, everybody, to the Fuel for Thought podcast. Well, sorry, I paused there because there's so much to think about for this episode.
There's so much to think about.
The most, and I can't believe after the season we've had so far, I'm saying this, but the most mental race of the season so far.
Mental weekend of the season.
Yeah.
Like, I am 26, but I feel like I'm like 56 after that weekend. It has aged me. I feel like we forgot it was a sprint race this weekend.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was good as well.
That was excellent. Probably the best sprint race of the season. Normally they're quite unnotable. There's not really
they're
much.
They're either good or they're just a spoiler for the race.
Yeah.
And
this was certainly not a spoiler for the race.
Yeah. It was. I don't think it was the best sprint race ever, but it was good.
Yeah. Obviously, it showed that Red Bull had kind of speed in their car this weekend.
Max had speed in
Max
car.
had,
and
yeah,
also
yeah.
It's different because it's a sprint.
Yeah.
So they could push it where they couldn't on a full race.
Also different because it was a dry sprint race compared to the race, which was a wet race.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just wasn't a spoiler for the race at all.
No, obviously.
Well, yeah. Wow. So obviously in the sprint race, it was a McLaren 1-2. Piastri was on pole.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Yep. McLaren.
Piastri was on pole.
Lando was P2.
Yeah. Max was
P4.
I thought he was.
Because I think Charles, he might have been.
He was like P6, I thought.
Potentially. But Charles was P3. And he kept Max behind him for a bit.
Because I thought George Russell was ahead of Max. But I should research this. But yeah, so much went on. But it ended up sort of being a 3-car fight in the end. So I guess, you could say Max had good pace over the Ferrari.
It was, it was 4 for a bit, a four-car race.
That's
and then
true.
It was kind of split into a 2-2 with Max and Charles, and then Lando and Oscar. Well, Lando and Oscar obviously weren't fighting, I guess. But Lando did say he was going to overtake Oscar on track, yet he did not.
They just stay with him. Yeah, he couldn't get close.
No. Yeah, and then Max obviously took Charles and left Charles in his mirrors, really.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Oscar, though.
Yeah.
Because he had every right to win that race, but obviously this stage of the season, there's still a chance for Lando to win it. There's no chance for Oscar to win it. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, okay, you've had your taste of a couple of wins this season. It's now time to go for championships instead.
Yeah. So I saw some people said that they had their doubts whether Oscar would give him the win, the lead, and I had no doubt at all that he would do it. I think Oscar obviously has the right attitude, and he knows that when his time comes, he'll get that back. Yep. And they were trying to obviously leave it to the last lap of the sprint race, but because there was a safety car, a VSC,
some controversy around that.
Yeah. They swapped beforehand.
They did. Yeah. So obviously, VSC came because was it Colapinto that crashed? I think it was.
I thought it was Hulkenberg. No. Oh my God, there were so many crashes this weekend.
Oh no, you're right. It was, and then he drove off because he got pushed back onto the track.
No, that was during the race.
Yeah, I think it was Colapinto.
Okay, maybe it was then. Maybe it was.
Because both Williams crashed.
I thought they both crashed in qualifying. So who crashed in the sprint race?
I'm pretty sure Colapinto.
Okay. I feel like about half of the grid crashed this weekend, so I think it's fair that we don't remember which one crashed in the sprint race.
But, they didn't do it straight away.
No, which they did. They had those decisions quite often this weekend.
Well, twice.
Well, yeah.
Twice notably.
Yeah.
They didn't throw it straight away, which gave McLaren the opportunity to swap. Mm-hmm. Through fears of a VSC.
Yeah.
Or a safety car.
Yeah. Obviously not knowing that the VSC would kind of go away before the last lap.
No.
Which Max almost took Piastri in that last lap.
I've got a theory on that as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, and Max kind of, as in Max and Red Bull fashion, threw out a conspiracy theory of, they didn't throw it to give them the opportunity. And it's like, okay, the reasons are there because they want to make the championship closer. But would they do that? I don't know. Arguably, there were some penalties or not penalties that lent towards maybe that way in 2021. Maybe it guides their decisions as to how and when they make them, as to who and when. It's like maybe there's a human element to it, but
I think that. Well, from my personal opinion, I do think there is a human element to it because obviously it makes Formula One more exciting.
Yeah, but then it questions the integrity, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it does question the integrity. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, if that's the phrase to use. Like, they obviously want to keep it exciting. But, yeah. I kind of, obviously, moving on to qualifying for the race.
Well, I got a theory on Max and the VSC first.
Okay, sorry. We'll go back to that.
So Max got a penalty
Yes.
after the sprint race, because he didn't meet his delta time for the virtual safety car. Mm-hmm. Now, I think he took a calculated risk and thought, all right, I'll potentially lose a place here, but if I gain second, then it's going to be worth it. I think he hung back and then tried to make up his delta time by timing it so that it would go green just as he was going to pass Piastri. Mm-hmm. So I think he did that on purpose, which is why they almost came together and why he had to brake really suddenly as he was about to pass him.
Yeah.
I think he just mistimed it, but not by much.
So you think he thought that it would go green, so he, like, just as he was passing Piastri, so then he could go and fight Norris?
Effectively, he'd have a running start when it went green.
Yeah.
Still be in his delta time to pass Piastri, and he was like half a second off the delta time.
So obviously, if he wasn't off on the timings of it, then he wouldn't have got a penalty, and he would have been ahead of Piastri.
He might have gone ahead of Piastri.
Yeah.
So I think he took a risk.
That's fair. I think obviously he can take risks because he's at the
It's only for
lead.
1 point.
Yeah.
And then he, actually it was net 2 points in the end because he lost a place, but
yeah, but 2 points is, I don't know. Obviously, a point is everything, really. But the lead he's got
now, but
but yeah, that's just the sprint race.
Yes, and we have to talk about qualifying this time.
We have to. We normally just brush past it, but this qualifying was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, first off, they couldn't even do it on the Saturday like they wanted to.
No, they were waiting around for ages, and then. Yeah, I think they waited until the last possible moment they could do it because obviously, 1, the sun was going down, and 2, kind of waiting for the rain.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lewis Hamilton was like, well, if you gave us better wets and something else, can't remember what he said, then we might be able to go out. Did you not see him say that?
No.
He was speaking to, I can't remember his name, the race director, I think. And he was like, give us better wets and we'll be able to go out.
But then it'd be slower.
Yeah, but at least they'd be able to qualify on the right day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that meant they had to get up at what, 4:30?
What? Yeah, I think they were saying like 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah, because qualifying for them was at 7:30.
Some of the engineers had to stay up all night.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I think it was Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
In the sprint that crashed, wasn't it? It wasn't Colopin, so.
Yeah.
For Haas, some of them must have had to stay up all night and sort of sleep in the garage and. Yeah,
long weekend for them, obviously, because they normally would have to only prepare for practices and then qualifying and then the race. But then they had to prepare for practice, then sprint race, qualifying, and race. So obviously a lot more work to do on the weekend.
Yeah, and we'll come on to qualifying as well.
Yeah.
But Williams especially, both their drivers crashed in qualifying.
And Aston Martin.
3 hours to sort their cars out.
Yeah, that's the risk with obviously having qualifying the same day as a race, and they moved the race forward as well. The race was supposed to start at 5 p.m. our time, so
weather,
I don't know what time that is their time, but yeah, it was meant to start later, but they moved it earlier. So yeah,
I think it was going to start at 2 locally.
Yeah, so Williams and Aston Martin, both of their cars crashed out in qualifying.
And Albon couldn't even start the race.
No. So I was wondering,
and Sainz as well.
Yeah, there was 5 red flags in qualifying. I was like 5 red flags, holding up 4 fingers. 5 red flags. What was I saying?
You were wondering.
I was wondering. Can't remember what I was wondering. My thought process is gone now.
Okay. Well, relax. But yeah, I mean.
I know what I was wondering. Obviously, previously in the season, they gave Alex Albon Logan Sargent's car. Obviously, Alex Albon made it through to Q3. At one point, he was in P2, but I think he kind of went down to P7 with his crash. I just wondered kind of why they didn't give him the fixed car if
I don't think
he was in a better position.
Because Colapinto hasn't underperformed.
Yeah, but
it just wouldn't be the right thing to do at this stage.
You just think that if you were only entering one car in the race and you've made that decision before, so you've proved that you would do it, why not just put the car in that's in the better position? It's a question. Obviously, Colapinto hasn't underperformed and he has got points, so fair play to him.
It was a wet race; anything could have happened.
Yeah,
so.
true. It felt like in the race, all of the cars that had been fixed were going wrong.
Yeah, we're not surprised.
Sainz crashed out in the race. Colapinto crashed out in the race. Alex didn't even start. Lance Stroll didn't even make it to...
We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that. And Fernando Alonso...
He finished the race.
He finished the race, but he was having really bad back problems. I feel really bad for him. Like,
Hamilton was bouncing around as well.
Yeah.
I think it was the track surface didn't help.
Fair play to Alonso for saying, like, I'll finish the race because obviously the engineers have put so much work in. Like, they had to fix both cars.
Yeah.
But he's in so much pain. Like, I saw a video of him getting out the car. It didn't look nice. And I think, obviously, they resurfaced the track. You'd think if they resurfaced the track, there'd be less bumps. But...
So you have to bed it in, you know.
Yeah, but I think I think they said that there might be kind of an investigation into
maybe
the relaying of the track.
But yeah,
to see why.
Qualifying. We're skipping over qualifying here. Yeah, I mean, so Hamilton went out in Q1.
Yep.
Verstappen and Perez went out in Q2. Controversially, because of whose crash was it?
It was
in qualifying.
Lance Stroll's.
Yes, Lance Stroll's strange crash in qualifying, and they kind of waited, and obviously the accusation is they waited for McLaren's to improve their time before throwing the red flag.
Yeah. There was quite
no, not the McLaren's. McLaren's had already qualified at the top, but they waited for everyone to improve ahead of Red Bull before improving it. Before throwing it.
Yeah, but I think they were waiting for everyone that was in front of the crash to finish their laps before throwing the red. I kind of agree with Red Bull here. Why have they waited that much time
to
call the red flag? I think if a car crashes and you know you're going to call a red flag, why hesitate?
Make it the same for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Red Bull still would have been out because there wouldn't have been enough time.
Yeah.
So, like, that argument's a little bit null and void from the reasons that they were talking about.
I don't think they would be because...
No, the argument of that they might have got through otherwise.
I think they would have.
No, I don't think so.
Because they had enough time left.
They didn't.
I mean, sorry, there wasn't enough time left, but they were in the top 10 before the cars finished their laps. So if they called a red flag straight away, they would have been in the top 10.
I don't think they would have been.
All right. We'll agree to disagree, shall we?
Sure. But yeah, that was an odd thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously feeds the Red Bull fire with the media.
Yeah.
Because they're playing the game. It's the same as everyone else.
Yeah. Obviously Lando wasn't doing well throughout kind of most of qualifying, and then he pulled out of the bag in Q3.
As it started to dry up a little bit.
Put it on pole.
He took the opportunity he had. And let's talk about George Russell in Q3.
Okay.
Took a risk. Trusted his ability, and Mercedes trusted his ability because that Mercedes wasn't good.
No.
So they were like, all right, we're going to keep you in the garage, keep those tyres nice and toasty in the blankets, and then, like, shoot you off for one lap at the end. And he smashed it into P2. I
think they said 3 out of 5 of the top 5 did that, and they got in the top 5. But there was some shockers up there. Getting these
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki Tsunoda.
Liam Lawson was like P6.
Yeah.
I think.
Esteban Ocon. Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
But great to see. Great to see a mix up in the
Indeed.
order.
Well, yeah, obviously they say the weather's the great equaliser.
Yeah.
So we now know potentially who's potentially the good driver,
The best driver, yeah.
qualified drivers out
Yeah,
here.
fantastic. Love it.
You see glimpses of who's actually shows the raw talent
Yeah.
in some of these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's exceptions like, everyone knows Lewis Hamilton's talented, but his car just wouldn't allow him to get anything out of it.
Yeah. And Fernando Alonso.
Didn't seem to have any grip whatsoever.
Yeah, strange.
Any handle of it.
Yeah, obviously George managed to get up there.
So yeah, I didn't say for Alonso, his car was just awful as well.
Yeah.
And like you would never say those two don't have talent.
No, exactly.
All right, shall we talk about the main event?
The race.
The race. The early 11 a.m. race start.
For them.
Yeah, for them.
Was it 11 a.m. there? Wow.
I think it was 11:30. So it's 3:30 here, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it was 12:30.
Wow.
Something like
It's just so early. Their day they must have been shattered.
Yeah.
Because obviously they were waiting around the Saturday, realised
Yeah.
they couldn't go out on qualifying. Must have got no sleep.
I'm sure the drivers were probably more in more comfort than a lot of the
Most
engineers
probably.
and staff.
I think they get paid well enough for them to have one early start.
The drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel for the engineers. Obviously rough time for them because of a lot of crashing out. But
Yeah. Let's start at the beginning. Okay.
yeah, before the race even begins.
Formation lap. Lance Stroll. It can happen. You lose the rears, get no grip or whatever.
I think he
slide
said
off the track.
Brakes failed. He theoried.
Right.
I actually don't know whether that's a fact yet, but that's his theory.
Right. That's fair.
Okay.
He hit the wall very softly with the front wing.
Yeah.
Reversed. Looked like, okay, he's going to drive off here. Drives the wrong way into the gravel trap and goes, oh, I'm beached. And the videos, the fan videos, just look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, is it just a stupid mistake that everyone, not everyone would make that mistake, obviously, but we all do stupid things at least once in our lifetime.
There was a lot of tarmac the other way next to him, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. And I guess you limit visibility in the car, but even I'm just trying to think of anything because that just looked absolutely ridiculous,
Yeah.
Maybe, almost a level of and I'm not accusing him of this, but when something's obvious match fixing, and maybe it's Lance Stroll won't start the race. I'm no way.
No.
Because that would be so stupid, and it's way too ridiculous for that to happen.
Yeah.
But it's on that level of it looked so ridiculous that it can't have been by accident. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even know. Anyway, I just feel bad for the engineers again. He crashed out in qualifying, and the engineers worked so hard through that time period to fix the cars. And Aston Martin, both cars, they probably had to join together to fix both cars, and he didn't even start the race.
No.
What more to say? What more to say?
Well, how embarrassed he is.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Anyway.
But yeah, that led to some confusion, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really like this. I don't know if I'm being biased because I'm a Lando Norris fan, but the fact that he went and a lot of other drivers went as well.
Yeah.
When they said abandoned start, or what was the term they used?
It wasn't abandoned, it was the other one.
Yeah, it began with an A. Aborted
start.
Aborted start. That obviously caused a bit of confusion, but Norris went and he was followed by other drivers.
No, he was followed by George Russell and
the two RBs.
I thought it was just one. It was one at first. I think then the other one waited.
Oh, okay.
And then was like, oh, I guess I'll just go.
Yeah. But then obviously there was an investigation into all of them. But initially they were only investigating Lando. And I was thinking...
Well, if anyone should be penalised, it's him.
I disagree. I think if why should, like, the rules are the rules.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it as well.
Yeah.
It's like if you're caught, like, I think someone said this, if you're caught by a speed camera and the car behind you gets caught by a speed camera, it's not just going to be the first person that gets punished.
But I'm saying, like, if him more than anyone, because he made the choice to start it. I'm not saying the other ones don't deserve to be penalised, but what if all 20 did it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, nothing happened apart from a fine for them.
Yeah.
So I think 3 of them
Also,
got a fine.
Controversial, like.
Yeah. Why have they got a fine and not a
penalty?
But then I don't know if it was a case of something on Lando's steering wheel indicated that it was fine. Who knows? I don't know.
But even then, it's like it's still on the team.
Yeah.
For a technical issue.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. And also talking about before the race started, Mercedes, both drivers
changed the tyre pressures.
Yeah, got another fine.
Yeah, which again controversial because apparently that's like a big you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I'm surprised they didn't get penalties as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well. Like, why have they chosen to give them a fine instead of a grid penalty? So
a lot of confusion. I
don't understand that. I would love a explanation.
But yeah, I don't want to hop too much on that.
No.
Should we talk about the race start?
The actual race now, yeah.
So I said out loud, I was like, George Russell's going to take Lando Norris into turn 1. Easy. Every day.
I don't think that's a bold statement because Lando has shown that he
Well, that's why I said it.
He's not great at
and
starts.
George is good at race starts.
He is, yeah. Yeah, I think also George just loves his track, so he won there.
Yeah, it took him before turn 1.
Yeah.
Easy.
I feel like there's something about second place, the grid spot.
Well, it's on the inside anyway.
Yeah, and obviously the race starts kind of on a hill.
Yeah.
So it must be something about that.
I expected Lando to get straight back past, but actually, in that whole first stint, George Russell, like, was comfortable out front. And although Lando stayed with him, those two were, like, set off into the distance in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, in the rain. So, fair play.
Yeah, definitely. But then I think, obviously, the issues came when... there was a VSC, wasn't there?
Was it someone spun off? Was it?
Yeah.
VSC?
Was it Hulk?
It was Hulkenberg spun off and got beached on the curb.
Yeah.
And I actually said when that happened, I was like, those two are on the wrong place of the track because if there's going to be a safety car, which there was, like they're heading towards the end of the lap,
yeah.
Like, they're going to be at the wrong place.
I think also when Nico, sorry, in my Haas brain, when Nico crashed out, the rain was obviously getting heavier as well. So it was kind of like George was saying on his radio, they should red flag this because it's getting too heavy, needs to be red flagged. And Lando wanted to pit to overtake, and McLaren were like, no. And then at the end of the VSC, both George and Lando pitted, kind of wrong timing because the VSC was ending.
Yeah.
And
they both lost track position.
They did. And then a safety car came out.
Yeah, for the weather.
Yeah, for the weather, trying to kind of get rid of the water, standing water. And then Colapinto crashed out when Ocon, Max and Gasly, I can't remember which order, I think it was Ocon, Gasly, Max were ahead.
Yes.
Also, shout out to Pierre Gasly because he did not qualify very well and he managed to get up into the top 3.
Well, and Alpine, bold strategy, they had to do it because they keep track position, might as well.
Yeah.
Didn't do a single pit stop.
I know.
Like, they changed tyres under a red flag, but there's no pressure.
So good. Also, I have to say, Max went from P17 to P10 in 3 laps.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
I saw his race start. It was he literally found the biggest gap ever.
I know. Just sent it around the outside.
Yeah, overtook about 5 cars in one go. It was incredible to watch. But yeah, crazy to think that he was when the red flag happened, he was in the top 3, starting from P17.
I know.
And the Alpines were up there as well. Yeah. Devastating as a Lando fan to see that. How has this happened? Obviously, going into the race, seeing Lando starting on pole and Max Verstappen in P17, you'd think maybe this will flip up the Drivers' Championship a bit, but evidently no. I obviously thought that Lando would close the gap to Max rather than Max finishing ahead of him and extending the gap.
Yeah, the whole narrative was, he could get 26 points over Max today and finish ahead of him. And how many points is he going to get ahead of Max? And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, a Max masterclass in the rain.
Yeah,
and
it really was.
Lando said, so George and Lando obviously pitted at the same time. They had very different opinions in hindsight about pitting. So George on the radio before he pitted was like, no, we need to stay out. It's going to be a red flag because of the weather.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't know that the car was going to crash out, but he said the weather's getting so bad. It's going to be a red flag. We need to stay out. Lando was like, I need to box. Otherwise, I'm going to come off this racetrack and crash, basically, because his tyres were gone. So Lando kind of was happy with boxing then. Obviously, not ideal, the result of that. But
no.
when it was red flagged, George on the radio was livid. He was like, I said, with a few bleeping in here and there, I said to stay out. Like, I knew it was going to be red flagged, etc., etc. Lost track position. I don't know. Obviously Max won, and he won by quite a big margin.
Almost 20 seconds.
But I think George would have been in contention for the win if he did stay out. Or he would have at least been on the podium.
Maybe. But seeing... It would have come down to, can Max Verstappen pass George Russell on track in the wet?
Yeah.
If yes, no chance for George Russell because of the way Max drove. Clearly the most confident and most talented man on track that day. Not even close. The way he just pulled out a second on everyone, lap after lap after lap.
How many fastest laps did he get? 17 in a row or something like that. Something ridiculous like that. Yeah. I think Max still would have won, but I think George probably would have come P2 if he'd stayed out.
Yeah, way ahead of the Alpines for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that was a mistake on Mercedes' behalf, and because that Mercedes wasn't that brilliant this weekend, just the general speed, I think that would have been an impeccable result for Mercedes.
But it's so hard to make decisions in this type of weather.
Yeah, obviously P4 is still great for Mercedes this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, how can you account for a safety car or a red flag? You can't.
Yeah. A lot of the times kind of teams hold out for it and it just doesn't happen. So It's just one of those things you have to gamble.
EU Des.
Yeah, which kind of reminds me, obviously Lando was interviewed after and he was like, it's not talent, it's luck with regards to the red flag and the position and pitting and stuff, which I don't know if...
It sounds you need to be more humble in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. But I think he's getting a lot of hate online about it, and I'm not sure if it was kind of taken out of context or whether he meant directly about the kind of the pit stops. But obviously, there is absolutely no doubt that Max Verstappen showed pure talent to get from P17 to P1 in the wet this weekend.
A bit of luck along the way, but you need luck. Make your own luck.
Yeah, exactly. That you have to be in the right position to make your own luck. And he was up ahead of Norris when the red flag hit. So luck and also talent.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a nice combination.
Because that's, Perez wasn't in the top 10.
Perez. One thing I've noticed about Perez is he never takes personal responsibility for his driving. He always kind of blames the team about where he ends up.
Maybe it's their media training.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know. I just think... I don't know. I don't like to dwell on this Perez train wreck, I guess. But
yeah. It's another underwhelming result for him.
Yeah, him and Liam Lawson have major beef, I feel like.
Oh, yes,
so
let's talk
much
about that. What great hard racing from Liam Lawson. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I really, really like Liam Lawson. I bet a lot of people are not happy with him, but
The only thing, like, that's funny and you question why, it's like, why is he racing the hardest with Perez? Like, he doesn't seem to race anyone else that
that's
hard.
why I think there's some beef there. I think where did it stem from? A couple races ago.
Last race.
Was it last race or the race before? I feel like it's been brewing for a few
Yeah, but
races.
last race was the one where, like, Mexico, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was the one where, like, he was giving the middle finger.
There's just exactly. There's like, he's got to be in his bonnet about something. I think they both do, and they're just beefing. And obviously it does probably stem from the fact that either one of them could be in the Red Bull seat next season. But also I just think they both think that the other driver's out to get them. I don't know.
Well, Liam Lawson's definitely out to get Sergio Perez's seat.
Yeah. But then I think Liam Lawson is kind of proving himself though.
Yeah. Were we finished in the points?
Yeah.
Is it P9? I think.
Hamilton was P10, so... Actually, I don't think he did finish in the points.
Pretty sure he did.
Sorry, let me get the... God, it's so hard to keep track of this weekend.
I know. Hamilton was not P10. Was he?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, Lawson finished P9.
Yeah.
And Perez finished P11.
Yeah. So, on that, this is the first time ever that the drivers have finished in their number positions from the same team. Max is P1. Perez is P11.
Wow. That's such a... I don't know why that fact is really...
It's such an obscure fact.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Forgot Nico Hulkenberg got disqualified. Black flag.
Black flag. Yeah, but that was...
First black flag in 17 years.
Yeah, but he should have been out anyway.
Surely he knew that he was going to get disqualified.
Yeah.
He knows the rules. He knows that the fact that 4 stewards pushed him back on the track, not exactly
They used to be allowed, you know? Like, there
Really?
used to be, like, Grand Prix where, like, be, like, 5 drivers sliding off at once on the same corner, and they would just get craned back on the track and drive away.
I don't know. I feel like, should it be allowed?
It's dangerous.
Mum was like, why is he not allowed to do that? Why can't they just let him back in? She's like, I don't see a problem with that. And I'm like, me neither, Mum. They should just let him race.
It's all safety, innit?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, shame really.
Yeah. And then I think before we go into our predictions, just want to... So, Kevin Magnussen wasn't racing.
Nope.
Ollie Behrman got his opportunity.
Yeah.
It seemed like he struggled a lot.
Yeah, but I think in his defence, it was probably one of the hardest races he'll ever have to do.
No doubt. But I just wanted to sort of...
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the car was difficult as well, considering his teammate went out.
Yeah. He got a 10-second penalty as well.
He did for...
Hitting Colapinto.
Yeah, and you know who else got a penalty? 10-second penalty?
Piastri.
Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri, yep.
From... Who did he go into the side of?
Ooh, Lawson?
Might have been. Can't remember. Yeah, so Piastri got a penalty as well.
Yeah.
And then Hamilton and Lawson always came together.
Yep. But then there's also an argument of visibility. I think there's kind of like lenience in the rain where they're like, oh, well, they couldn't see them because of the rain, because I honestly don't know how they're driving with that much kind of splash in their face. Like when they're driving so close behind a driver trying to overtake them, how can they see it at all?
Rain light. That's it. And they look for their braking points at the side of the track.
They're like, honestly,
that's why they get paid the big bucks.
Respect them massively for this, because they have to just obviously put their brain into a different mode where they're just like, right, this light is the car. I know, like, I can visualize how far away I am from them. Just like, I don't know.
Insane.
Yeah. On to predictions.
Yes, let's review our predictions.
So obviously we didn't predict the sprint race.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. We're going to be wildly wrong.
But if I were to predict the sprint race, I would have predicted, let me think about it.
Come on, you can't say that
I would
now.
have predicted Charles in P3 after Max got a penalty. Then Oscar Piastri after giving up the lead to Lando Norris, and then Lando Norris in P1.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what I would have predicted.
Very good.
I would have been right.
Oh, wow.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Qualifying, I predicted Carlos to qualify in P3. Didn't happen because he crashed out. Lando to qualify in P2. Didn't happen because he qualified in pole. And Lewis to qualify on pole. Didn't happen because he was out in Q1.
Yeah.
Very wrong.
Qualifying, I predicted Sainz to qualify P3. Didn't happen. Norris to qualify P2. Didn't happen because he qualified in pole. And Leclerc to qualify in P1. Didn't happen because he went out in Q3.
What? He went out in Q3? Q3 is the final one?
Yeah. I was trying to copy what you said.
Right, well, you didn't, did you?
Did not.
Right, so we were both very wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. The race, we were even more wrong. Who, like, honestly, if someone actually predicted the race result that we got, I want to give them a high five.
Pole position, right?
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You said
Oh,
Charles
yeah.
Leclerc.
Okay, fine.
What race were you watching? The race, I said that Max would finish in P3, which wasn't crazy considering he started in P17, but obviously didn't predict that part. P2 for Carlos Sainz did not happen because he crashed out. And Lando, P1, which obviously happened in my dreams, but not in real life.
Certainly didn't happen. Should have happened, but it wasn't good enough on the day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The race, I predicted Verstappen to come in P3, which wasn't crazy.
Oh, for goodness sake. Did you predict the same as me?
No, Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris.
Okay, so we just swapped Ferrari drivers again.
But Leclerc came
P5
5
after Russell.
Yes, because Piastri got a penalty.
Yes.
Not after.
No,
not after
Piastri got
Russell.
a penalty. Russell finished at P4.
Oh.
Piastri came P8.
Oh, he did.
Sonoda came in front of Piastri. Fair play
Goodness
to the
me.
Both of them got points.
Yeah.
Love that for them. So, obviously, Alpine got double podium. They've jumped up from P9.
Considering how much of I don't know, what would you say that car was comparable to at the start of the season?
Tractor.
Yeah, a tractor. That car was at the start of the season.
Yeah.
For them to both get a podium.
Yeah, they've jumped from P9 to P6 in the championship. 33 points from this one race, which is amazing to see. Yeah,
$50 million
amazing to
race.
see. Obviously, the Alpine team, well done to them.
Well done to the drivers.
And the drivers, yeah.
Let's put some respect on their names.
Ocon, Gasly.
Not Ocon's biggest fan, but gotta put some respect on his name.
And he was leading for
He
a
was
bit of it.
great in the wet.
Yeah.
And so was Gasly.
Yeah.
So,
and
like-
also, in the first restart, he was really good. He kept that lead. Yeah. Respect, honestly, those Alpine drivers deserve it.
And they actually looked like friends at the end.
I know,
as well.
it was really nice to see, wasn't it? I always get like really happy to see like obviously the underdog teams when they do really well. And also on our Twitter account, I did tweet that it's nice to see kind of like these rookie drivers racing against like world champions. When Colapinto was fighting against Lewis Hamilton, I can imagine like as a kid, they would only have dreamt to do that, and now they're doing it for real. And I just think like kind of, I don't know, it's just nice to think that you're racing against your heroes, like Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, and all this. Yeah.
Was he even born when Fernando Alonso made his debut?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
Let's get into some bold predictions. Now,
Okay.
my first one's pretty good. Go on, you go first.
Your first one was 3 red flags, wasn't it?
No, that was last week.
My first one was 2 red flags.
You were wrong. There
If
was
we
one
count
red flag.
qualifying.
There was 5 red flags in qualifying.
Oh, I meant 2 or more. 2 or more red flags. And if we count qualifying, there was 6 red flags. So
Qualifying took about 2
it
hours.
was ridiculous. I thought it was going to go into the race.
Yeah.
I was like, there's another red flag. What was your one?
Fine. My first bold prediction, there will be another fight between Lawson and Perez. And, you know,
I feel like it's inevitable at this point.
I feel like there was.
Yeah, there was.
There was a bit.
Yeah. Also, in qualifying, I feel like on the radio, I think I heard Lawson say, "Was that Perez?" when he got him? He almost. I think he almost.
Was that Max or Checo?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Doesn't matter, please, it doesn't matter."
It was Max, but
Yeah.
he wanted to beef with Checo. God. My second bold prediction was both Williams to qualify in the top 10. Ooh, I jinxed that a little bit. Technically, Alex Albon did qualify in the top 10,
Yeah.
but he did not race. And Colapinto did not, because he crashed out too.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, my second one wasn't right either. Perez will qualify in the top 10.
No.
He
Do you know-
didn't do that.
Do you know what's a shame about my second one? I could have picked kind of like any of the other kind of underdog teams apart from Sauber, RB or Alpine. And they both would have been right, but Williams no.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Perez is obviously controversial about qualifying, but never mind. My third one was the rookies will beat their teammates. Now let's deep dive into this because technically, Oliver Behrman beat Nico Hülkenberg
Didn't he
because.
finish second to last?
Yeah, but Nico Hülkenberg did not finish the race. He got disqualified. And
I'm not giving him that.
Colapinto.
It's a very poor race.
And Colapinto, although DNF'd,
He had
Alex
no
Albon-
one to beat.
Alex Albon did not start.
DNS.
So technically, he did beat Alex Albon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Liam Lawson, obviously, is he classed as a rookie now? Because he did participate in a few Grand Prix last season.
I would say his rookie season, if he races, will be next season.
Okay, so technically not a rookie.
But I don't know if that's how they count it.
Okay, so then I think that prediction wins because technically Yuki Tsunoda beat Liam Lawson, but if he's not classed as a rookie, then both rookies beat their teammates. Mic drop.
Okay. Well, my third one is Max will push someone off track again, and he didn't. No.
Didn't need to.
No.
He got in Mario Kart. He got the bullet.
No, that's the star. Oh. But yeah, I get what you mean. No, he just showed everyone how to do it instead.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no denying talent. Pure talent.
Yeah. And you're a McLaren fan. I'm a Mercedes fan, but you gotta give credit where it's due.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one of the race performances of all time.
Yeah.
From P17 to P1, 20-second gap at the end, when no one else could manage it.
Yeah.
Fair
You just
play.
kept seeing fast lap after fast lap
Yeah.
after fast lap.
No words really on that.
No. And do you know what was quite nice as well? Obviously, when Max was winning race after race after race, the podiums and stuff were kind of less emotional, whereas this podium was really more emotional for him. Obviously, he ran over to his engineers, which he normally does, but it had a bit more of a...
Yeah, it's refreshing.
Yeah, it was refreshing. And yeah, it just felt a bit more of a big thing this time. And obviously, Alpine were on the podium with him. Mm-hmm. So it was just, it just was quite refreshing. Did you see the meme about the flags?
No.
Because obviously the two French flags, the Netherlands flag is the other way. So they were the flags were kind of rolling. Funny.
But yeah, I just want to kind of finish off by saying this is basically championship over now, I think.
It's not over till it's over,
No, you're
as
right.
they say.
But that's what Max needed.
I think that this was Lando's biggest opportunity to close that gap, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I would be shocked. Obviously, I would love for Lando to be world champion, but I would be quite shocked if it happened. Something spectacular has to happen for that to be the result.
I think if you kind of take a step back and look at the grand scheme of things, it's probably the right result. Not the result that people want after 3 years in a row of Max winning, especially after last season. But the amount of opportunities that Lando Norris has had and hasn't taken them, I think it's just shown he's not quite ready to take it to that top step yet. But I think his time will still come.
I think if Max wins this season, this will probably be his best season of winning I don't know, kind of more fruitful for winning the is that the word?
Yeah, I would definitely feel more I don't know, what's the word?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word for...
More satisfying.
Yeah, more satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be the most satisfying World Championship because obviously he's not had a rocket ship and there's obviously less controversy around this win than there would be from 2021. So, yeah.
But yeah, last things last.
Okay.
Driver of the day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I said mine was Carlos Sainz.
No.
No more
definitely not.
more to say about
I said
that.
mine was Lando Norris. Again, no. There's only one driver of the day.
Yeah, Max
you could
Verstappen
say,
takes it.
Ocon, Pierre. No.
No.
Come on. Like, I know it was a comeback story. Like, he shouldn't have qualified in P...
17.
12,
Oh, yeah.
P12.
Yeah, he had a 5 second...
In the first place.
Grid penalty.
But the way that he came up from P17 and then extended that gap, like, come on. Driver of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Any day.
No doubt. No doubt. And it was actually nice to see him get driver of the day.
Yeah.
That never happens when he wins, but yeah, impeccable. There's not really much more you can say, but
No.
kind of give him the applause for it.
But hey, this has been a long one, so I think we'll end it there.
Yeah.
3-week gap now until Vegas.
Hopefully Vegas gives us loads more to talk about, some more drama, some more, I don't know, unexpected podiums.
Yeah. Max could win it in Vegas.
He could.
Yeah.
What a place to win it, though. Las Vegas.
I hope it goes to...
You've been recently. What do you think? Place to win
Oh, definitely.
World Championship?
Definitely. Insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, we'll call it a day.
Yeah, let's call it a day.
If you've made it this far, thanks for listening
Yeah.
or watching. Let us know what you think about any of the topics we discussed. And we'll catch you in a few weeks' time for Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Bye.